Okay?
Why can't you pull out fun from your ass?
Uh, my fun gland is empty, man. That's
Your
why.
fun gland is
Yo,
empty. Wait, is this a spider thing? Hold on a
Running
second.
dry for
There's
ages.
so many questions. Your fun gland has been dry for ages. Oh my god. That's fucking... Oh, that tickles me way too much. Jesus. There's... That's...
Well, I guess my fun gland isn't all that empty then.
It's not all that empty. Okay,
That's good.
I'm gonna take that as the beginning. Welcome to Scattered Podcast. We are on episode 8. I am here. It's me. I don't have a fun gland either, but and we have
Damn.
Wham.
Hi.
Oh, oh, and we have a new guest today. Our new guest is our good friend Sound.
yellow.
Yellow, red, orange, green,
Which one am I?
purple.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Almost forgot about that one.
I'm gonna spin the wheel. So people who listen to the second episode or watch this episode, second, sixth, seventh, last episode, we had a
That's the
wheel.
7th episode. We are in the 8th episode.
I don't know where we are. We're in the ether. Um, yeah, last episode we have a wheel. We still have a wheel. So I'm gonna spin the wheel. I'm not gonna show you me spinning the wheel because that's a lot of effort. Um,
You showed it last time.
I know. Oh, I did an anime one, but I don't really want. I don't really want to do anime. I don't want to do anime. Please don't do anime again.
Lol, again.
Okay. Dead games. What does this mean? Wham, you put this on the list. What does dead games mean?
That means game that has been like either shut down, that is not being touched, or games that like, let's say for example, I can take the example of a game called Anthem. Um, I really, really, really loved Anthem. But the
Oh,
creators of Anthem fucked up to a certain degree that made them lose a very large part of their fan base. Which then led to a lot of the fan base not no longer playing the game, which then led to the developers and creators of Anthem to say that they would no longer support Anthem, they would no longer update Anthem, and then there was some talk about a second Anthem in development, but I am unsure if those rumors have been
no, they
like
canceled
true.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Some say that they didn't, some say they do. Some say the officials say that they did, but at the same time, like people have seen some sketches and artworks and stuff like that behind the scenes, and I don't know how much I like what to believe at this point, but I'm pretty sure that Anthem is dead. Meaning, I mean, the game itself is not dead. It's technically still running. The servers are still up, but the um, the fan base is so small that it's a niche game at this point, and with the small amount of players there is in Anthem at this point, people look at it as it being a dead game, and as the fact that it will never it will never get finished, and it will never get more advanced or get more added equal. Like the game is what it is, but at the same at that point also a dead game. That is what I mean with that game.
Okay.
Dead game.
Dead
Yeah,
again. Um,
dead game.
is Day of Dragons still dead? Because I know
Yes.
that it was after the whole the owners basically stealing all of the money they got from the Kickstarter and just putting AI shit, or not even AI shit, but like store stuff into the game. Um, Basically, they ran off with all the money and people wanted refunds and shit just wasn't getting back. I know after all of that thing, pretty much everyone like left the game, and then if I remember right, someone else from the team um, managed to get some of the money back and give it back to the people, and basically redid the whole game. But I don't know. I don't know if it's still dead. I don't know. Like,
It's
Well,
not.
it's
It's
not
not.
because the so far the count of people playing the game is still at the hundreds, around 200 to 300. The story behind this thing is the main person who created the whole GoFundMe and everything like that stole around like a few millions of the community, pocketed it, and only gave around to the developers or whatever team he had, other scammers, around like 50K to work with. That basically didn't do anything, any assets, and every assets he got, he copied it from other games, like the Wyvern from Ark, some other dragons from other people's art he found on Pinterest or anything like that. There was a whole debate. Like a lot of the community members of this game are very very toxic. So any person who actually talked badly on it long time ago, they would just basically cancel you
oh
instantly.
yeah, didn't like there
And
wasn't there like a lot of talk where the people who back when the other guy owned the game, didn't he just basically ban anyone who talks shit?
yes, he did. There is this one YouTuber, I can tell you this much. I think his name is Sid Alpha. He went to trial with that owner. He went to trial and he won
Bruh. I
That's
mean,
awesome.
good.
because he is a part-time lawyer, or he knows his legal stuff
Yeah.
basically. But he basically with a false name joined that server and basically, well, found out all the inside juices. This game is, I think, in the middle of dying and undying at the same time.
No, I do think it's at like slowly going up. Not going up, but I don't think it's going to die because it has gotten a lot of like backing after all that happened because the people who took over Day of Dragon has started to actually um make it right and actually like do their best to support the game in the like as best as possible. I was just looking up the player count. At the moment, there's 257 players playing the game at the moment. And in the last like past 24 hours, 344 at the peak. That is not a lot of like big numbers compared to so many other games, but compared to the fact of that it got such a bad repetition, I would say that's pretty good.
Yeah.
For a game that so many people hated and looked down on and who said was dead, I say that is pretty good. And with a patch, they did a patch in May 8th, and they've done a patch March 28th.
Yeah, so
So
they're
they're
doing
still doing a lot
regular.
of patches.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
They're doing regular
They're
ones.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing regular patches. They're doing what they can to actually update the game, keep upgrading the game, adding more to the game, and making it better and better and so on. I would not call that a dead game, because if it was dead, nothing would be happening on it. but stuff is happening equal. I would not call it a dead game. In many's eyes, it might be dead, yes, but I would not call it dead in that regard.
It's not dead yet. It's still fighting.
I think I have
It
an
is still
example.
fighting.
Yeah.
I have an example for a dead game. I recently wanted to come back to that game because, my god, that was one of the games that I really were attached to it. It's called Riders of Icarus.
Me and Courtney played the shit out of Riders of Icarus.
Love the concept of every animal, most every monster or animal you fought, you could tame. And you can make a pet out of it or a mount.
Wasn't there also a talking moose?
Yes, there was a talking moose.
Sorry.
The count of players right now are rarely, and I do say rarely, in the European servers are around 15 people.
It's still getting regular updates though.
It doesn't get not really. It get maintenance,
Well,
but not
yeah,
really updates. They're getting like events, the seasonal events, basically.
Oh yeah, it's
No,
just it's all
There's
maintenance.
35 in-game at the moment.
Yeah, so that's the peak, like of
No,
all the servers.
right now there is 35 in-game.
Oh, really?
The peak for the last 24 hours, it's been 47 for
Okay,
peak
so
for the
it's
last 24
still.
hours.
And you can
It's
see the
much
charts for the
less,
game
yeah.
like a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when did me and Courtney play it? We played it in 2017, so a while ago. When we
If
were
we go
playing
to
it
2017.
in 2017, there were a lot of people playing it. I would say at least 100, if not more.
At 2020, around Jan and July, there was 1,164.
Yeah.
Now, at 2017, there was almost 17,000 players.
Oh shit! So a few more than 100.
Yes. And then over the other years, like around like 2018 to fall of 2000, around like the middle of like 2017, it dropped significantly to 1,714 like players.
Why is it dropped so much?
At 2022, it dropped to 300 and something. It like the extreme was at like the start of 2017 or something like that, and then it immediately dropped. I guess there was bugs or something. But yeah, it was
Oh.
not great.
Wait.
Yeah.
Hold up a second.
So
Riders of
it's sad.
Icarus shutting down May 15th.
No, I didn't see that one.
Been around for a decade. Announced that it will be shutting down on May 15th. News just a few days after a planned server merge between North American and European servers was cancelled. February 13th, in-game purchases disabled. That was this year. April 24th, final in-game events, community farewell. May 15th, official server shutdown. KST 12 till 6.
Yeah, that's very sad to hear, actually.
Yeah, so this game literally will be dead.
Yeah.
In like 3 days.
In a few, yeah. Like,
Holy shit.
the thing that is like more disappointing than this game was Terra. Terra was a very good MMO.
I don't think I ever played that. What's it about? Tell me what is it about? What is it?
What do you know?
What's Terra?
Basically, it's like the typical MMO.
Damn.
Let's see if I can...
One game that kind of died out without any warning, I feel like, was a game called Firefall. and I
Oh,
loved playing the shit out of Firefall.
Another game I don't know. Tell me about it.
So basically, Firefall, you would have different classes that could do different things, and it was an open world like MMO, but a shooter version of it.
yeah.
You would run around and collect resources and upgrade your stuff, and like a typical open world MMO shooter. But it just had a very good knack and like actually a really good balance as well. And it was surprisingly fun as well.
It
And
always
I
had that feeling of different when you played it.
yeah,
It gave you that
exactly,
feeling that it's not like other games, but it is similar in other ways. But this game
exactly.
was very much very fun, and the moment it became dead, it was very heartbreaking. And after it became dead, they shut it down. There was like there was a lot of fan base for Firefall.
That is very sad. Rip.
Yeah.
There are a few other games that died over the years. There's like I don't um
Okay, I
There's
searched up
so many
Firefall
games.
and I'm just getting images of lava going down a fucking mountain.
type game next to it.
Um,
Oh, it's snowy.
um,
Uh-huh.
Holy
Titanfall
Firefall
is
game.
also a thing.
Gotcha.
yeah, Titanfall is also a dead game.
Is Titanfall dead?
It
I mean, I feel like Titanfall
it
never really lifted off the ground.
no, it did. It was very big. At that time when it came Titanfall 2 came out, a lot of players that now are playing Apex were playing Titanfall.
Hmm.
And the thing that killed the community of Titanfall is EA. Because
Yeah.
EA
Ah.
basically said, "Oh, we 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 are in development of a new version of Titanfall. We're making Titanfall 3." And then they canceled it and updated Apex.
Uh,
Everybody's
Also,
mad
sorry,
about it.
I uploaded a picture of Firefall's.
oh, yeah, I just typed game next to it and...
Yeah, fair enough.
There is, of course, the other MMO called Rift that died as well.
Rift?
Oh
Rift?
yeah, right.
Or Guild Wars that is now only PvP and is already dead.
Okay, I have a question. Are the majority of these either MMOs or games like where it's just like a fucking map and you shoot each other and do like things like capture this space or etc.
Well,
Is it a lot of
It
that?
seems like that's a lot of
seems
it.
like it,
Yes.
yes.
Like,
Those are basically the most games that are popular and yet still dead.
yeah, because I feel
But
like
I think it's.
there are several
Sorry. Yeah,
ones.
no, go ahead.
Sorry, I think I can't. It was a while ago. I remember someone talking about like those kind of team games where you're up against another team, you're shooting, you have a base to protect, or you're trying to capture a flag, or you're trying to capture
Oh, I
another
know
base, or
which game.
shit like that. Like those, that genre of games is very, very popular,
Hmm.
especially if they've got gacha in them. Um, but there are so many of them that it's kind of like a bit hit or miss if they're going to if they launch off the ground, and if they do launch, if they'll either even survive long enough to get to the in-game purchases.
Yeah. But I feel like that's also because there's so many games that just, as you said, come out all the fucking time. That players just continuously get, you know, flung back and forth.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of options, and every time like a dev team makes a game like that, they have to make it a little bit different or better or you know, they have to have some new kind of what's it called? Like mechanic that draws people in to make them different, because you know there's just so much the what's it called? The market is so saturated with those kinds of games that it's no wonder they fucking die.
No, exactly,
Well,
literally.
most games that most likely are like the ones that usually die first are more like more or less competitive games.
Mm.
MMOs have both PvE and PvP. And with that all in factor, most like shooter games with capture the flag and other stuff like that. Example, Tribes Ascend or PlanetSide 2. Those games usually they exist until something better comes out and then they die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happened like well the one that still is alive and somehow still standing is Team Fortress.
Oh yeah.
That thing is
But that's
still
because
alive.
I feel like Team Fortress has such a big like fan base and always
Yes.
have had such a big fan base that it will never die. Plus Team Fortress 2 like make sure that the game is working as it's supposed to all the time.
Yeah. There
Um,
is
and
like
doesn't and it doesn't try to force like micro pavements, like micro transactions and all that kind of shit on people that a lot of other big games are trying to be able to get money out of people. Um, because that is what I also feel like often kills a lot of games like that because they need money to be able to continue developing the game, but a lot of them put up so many microtransactions to the point where people are like, why the fuck is am I even playing this game? Because every time I do anything, I am met with microtransactions, and then you just you're just getting just getting done with it, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, it's I guess it's a very delicate balance to try and get right. But like things like I think with Team Fortress, because like it's kind of a gag game. Um and also like the fact that so many memes have been made from it, and I feel like it got love back, especially with like Gmod and stuff like that. Like people made it fun again, and I think that's why it's not died. Um, because it is a gag game. But God, I remember all of the fucking like Gmod animations people would make. But also, I feel like Gmod has kind of died out now. I don't see a lot of videos about Gmod, and last time I played it, like many years ago, like it wasn't like there were any massive servers up to play it, or you know, even like when people were still doing like horror maps and um, what's it called, like uh, fucking puzzle maps and shit like that. Um, it just kind of died, I think.
Yeah.
There's not really any content for it. I think Vanos Gaming is still doing content for but that might be GTA instead, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Vanos is still
I
doing
think
GTA.
the thing with a game like Gmod is the fact that I don't think it will ever actually die per se because it is just a sandbox like game. it literally started out as a mod for something else, and then it kept like became its own standalone thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's some like I think that it will always have a niche fan base for like people to go into, because there is still a lot of videos and so on being made through Gmod. Not specifically just like as we know them, but um, like animations and so on is still being used through Gmod. So I think Gmod will never truly die, but it doesn't have the same popularity that we know, like that we know it for. I agree with that. So in that regard, yeah, it is kind of dead, but yeah. Um, I think Counter-Strike might also be quite dead. Not the newest
Well,
Counter-Strike, but some of the older Counter-Strikes.
the old ones, yes, that is dead. But there is one game that tried to crawl out and like basically messed up itself. It's called Robocraft.
Oh, is
It
that back?
was it came back and it's worse.
Ah, it doesn't surprise me.
Basically, the Robocraft trilogy started with the normal Robocraft, and they started development. A lot of the players approved of a lot of the stuff they did, and then they basically tried to streamline it a little bit more, and they messed up so much stuff that there was an all-out outcry calling out to the developers, stop changing it, revert back. And the developers basically never listened to the community, never wanted to listen to them, and more and more stuff changed until the game was unplayable. There was too many bugs, there were too many things happening at once. New players saw what's going on and basically delete the game immediately. And now, a year or so ago, something like that, they came out with Robocraft 2. And the
Yeah.
majority of the reviews are negative.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Because the game is worse, it's unplayable. The whole part of you protecting the pilot is now not even there. Most of the game is pay to win. Basically, the developers that are named Free Jam are basically no longer free. It's pay jam. So basically, what was a good game and could have continued being a good game fell from grace and is no longer playable, and most people don't play it anymore.
Yeah, makes sense.
The whole factor of the original game had a motto: build, drive, fight.
Mm,
That was the motto. And then they disabled the build,
still makes no
and
sense.
then they nerfed the drive. They nerfed the drive, and then they even worseably basically wrecked the fight.
Yeah.
So basically, it's done for. And now you see the same thing of falling from grace when it comes to Genshin Impact. The whole drama of it. Oh my god, there's a lot going.
Drama.
The more developers don't care about the voice of their community, the more the game will suffer, and the more they just go off.
Well, yeah, it's always been like that though.
There is another dead game we forgot before Riders of Icarus, the game that inspired Riders of Icarus, Dragon's Prophet.
I don't think I know this.
Dragon Prophet was a very, very good game. Well, in its prime. It came out in 2013.
Dragon's Prophet.
Yes.
Right.
I don't think I know about this game. Cool.
That's the stuff.
Yeah, I already got the.
Mhm.
Cool.
There were a lot of like old games and everything like that. A lot, a lot of them died off.
Yeah.
Well,
Then you can look at a game like Overwatch, for example, which is a really big thing.
Mhm.
With the fact that they created Overwatch 2. They took a massive fucking hit to their player count. With what they did. Um, uh, and Blizzard took a massive hit to their like incomes and so on as well. Um,
I thought Overwatch was still doing
um,
okay.
what?
I thought Overwatch was still doing okay.
It was until it didn't.
Yeah. Overwatch One,
Very.
you can no longer access Overwatch One. That is long gone. And
Hmm.
Overwatch 2, like it's there's definitely there's a
It's
lot of players playing it. There's a
yeah.
lot of people playing it, but for example, here it has 24%, like 24.22% good reviews. Out of like 24.22% of the reviews are positive out of 340K reviews.
Ooh,
Yeah.
So
damn.
that's really not good.
Yeah,
There
that's.
is another like there is more games, but they are mostly shooters. There is a few shooters. One is called Warface that is now was popular back when, and now is absolutely horrifying. What is going on with that game? Um, and there are a lot of mixed reviews, a lot. But
Yeah.
the game, they try, they try, they really do, but it's not great. Like there is not saving it. There are a few others. There's like damn, how what was that game is called? Oh right, Heroes and Generals. That was a World War II game. Um,
Right.
it's no longer available. It got shut down
Well, I
after.
imagine most of the, like, World War games, except for, like, new ones coming out, are probably shut down. Like, all of the, early, like, Xbox games and
Mhm.
Xbox
Well,
360 games, I imagine they're all dead. Like, the online Call of Duty ones and the
yeah,
Battlefield and that lot.
there is another game. It was one of my favorite games, actually. It was called Dreadnought. It basically you had a big spaceship and you would fight other people with spaceships. And you
Spaceship.
actually had the details. If you shot someone's ship, you actually would see small people flying off of it. You would see the damage, you will see everything. And you had classes, you would have healing, you'll have support, you'll have everything. But not a lot of people played it. That's the sad part.
Hmm.
And the most thing that destroyed the game and most wrecked the game was the whole like ranking, how the game ranked between the players. That mainly is now destroying one of the games called Delta Force. You go into a match, you go against a thirsty person.
Thirsty person.
Yes. Me and Wham had it a lot of times. We
Oh
just
yeah, fucking Delta Force.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, Jesus
mm-hmm.
Christ.
The second you spawn in, you die instantly from a sniper that is so toxic that he would put the gun in your mouth and pull the trigger.
Bro.
Literally, it literally gave me Call of Duty vibes. All, and this is the thing also with Call of Duty. The reason why Call of Duty constantly always like at least I feel like why they constantly always make new card games, the fact that they have to, because otherwise they will never get new players and they will never earn more money, because COD players are some of the most toxic players you will ever fucking find. That or like that and League of Legends. But at some point, I would honestly say that COD players are more toxic than League players at some degree.
Yes.
And I feel like Delta Force and Delta Force players and COD players are almost touching on toxicity levels.
Mhm.
Are they touching too?
It is. Literally,
It's horrifying.
it is horrifying. Like Delta Force has a lot of good customization and options and so on, but Jesus Christ, the fan base is toxic. Also, one thing that I find really interesting about the creators behind Delta Force was the fact that the Delta Force franchise is a really, really old Jesus Christ, franchise. Hold up. Right. It's a really, really old franchise. Jesus Christ, I cannot say that again. That
cannot
name.
say that.
But it's a super old franchise. Fuck it. Yes, it's super old, and they have made so many good games, and they have a really loyal fan base. And so many were so hyped because they thought it would be in the same style as some of the old games, which was like really, really tactical, and you had to think about what you were doing and so on and so on. Kind of like Sandstorm, I think it's called. Isn't it Sandstorm?
Sandstorm, yes.
I don't know. But then you get a form of Insurgency Sandstorm there was. But then you get a form of game like Call of Duty or another like quick paced shooter game. And like so many of Delta Force's like OG fan base just gave them so much hate. But I think with the fact that COD not really releasing a new Call of Duty, so many COD players was aching for a new game to play, and that's why they jumped from that to Delta Force. But speaking of a dead game, I was trying to find a game. I cannot remember its name at the moment, but there was a game that released. It released with like some other big titles, like at least at the same time as some other big titles, and it got so much backlash that within 2 weeks of it releasing, they had to shut it down. I don't remember. I think it was like Conclave or something. I don't remember
Oh
the name.
no.
Was
You're
it
bringing
Conclave?
that game? It's Conclave.
Okay. Continue.
Yeah, sorry, it was just no. Was it Conclave? I don't remember the exact because this does not look like that game. But I don't think it was Conclave. But the game itself like got released, and it got released in a really, really bad time, and the way that they put stuff up just didn't hit what they wanted to. And when they tried to match so many other games of its style, they just didn't meet the criteria to be able to capture people's attention. And the fact that they had so many microtransactions to the point where you had so many things thrown in your face within a very short amount of time that just discouraged players to even look at the game before they even got in like into a match. That and it's Concord. Concord. That
Oh,
was
it's close
Concord.
enough.
What?
It's close enough.
Okay.
Yeah, Concord. Yeah, but yeah, Concord.
Same thing.
That, and it had so many bugs and things wrong with it as well, where where if the developer just wanted to actually maybe wait a bit more time, then it would probably have worked out a lot better for them. But yeah. But yeah, that's a game that died so quickly.
Mm. I'm kind of noticing that I don't really know any games that are dead. All of my games I'm playing are still very much alive.
Yeah, that's completely fair. I think, but again, it's kind of fun to just look at all this because I also see a trend because a lot of the games that pop up and die are like MMO RPG shooters and like games that rely on multiplayer and
Yeah.
not games that rely like that has single player because games that have single player elements in them or is more suited towards single player are still doing perfectly fine.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, they're pretty much most single player games either just need a good story or a good loop, a good solid loop. And if you have one or both of those things, then you have a pretty solid uh, consistency of people coming in. Even if you have a player who plays the game, finishes it, and never plays it again, they're probably still going to talk about that game to other people every so often. So you're still going to get new players. Um,
hmm.
but I guess, online games are more likely to die because they require servers. And because those servers can just become empty very quickly if you don't have the shit for people to stay around.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, serious gas. Oof.
What? Sorry?
Don't worry about it.
Dying slowly, I guess.
I'm very surprised at how quick the time has gone. We're coming to the end of this episode.
Okay, cool. Well, I can.
Well, that was fast.
Yeah, that went
Really?
by so quickly.
It really did. Holy shit.
This is like the regular time we usually stop. Jesus.
So we've almost been going for an hour then. Holy shit.
Well, yeah, it's about 40, but by the time we finish with the outro, it'll be, yeah, close to an hour. That's crazy.
Jesus.
Mm.
Yeah.
I also feel like I may have zoned out through part of that. But I don't know.
It's completely fair. I mean, you didn't really have a lot to add in, so it's all okay.
Yeah. I will also say before we end out that if you guys heard any clinking, the people listening, if you heard any clinking or loud clank, clink, 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 my other half was eating his dinner. So that's what that was. You guys may not have heard it on Discord, but I definitely know the OBS picked it up, so...
Don't worry, we heard some things.
But yeah. Okay. Go ahead and end us out if you like.
Yeah, no worries. You have been listening in on the Scattered oh, Jesus. My words are failing me. Jesus Christ. Right, okay. I'm gonna try this again. You have been listening in on the Scattered Podcast with me, Whammer, my co-host, Sarah.
Woo!
And today's guest host, Sound.
Yellow.
Yellow.
We
Green.
upload here on Spotify and on YouTube every Thursday. Remember to like and subscribe, and leave a comment if there's anything interesting you want us to talk about. Yeah, see you around. Hope to see you next time.
Bye.